Hello and welcome to my new podcast name, Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. And the subtitle of this would be is going to be opening new opportunities. So we're here in this dance of in between some planets doing some things, and we're in this amazing time. And I thought that I would just give this offer to you. So I am Natasha Venter. I'm intuitive clarifications. So I do a lot of intuitive work with people, helping them through life. I'm a spiritual counselor. I do a lot of motivational stuff for people to get them through what they like to do and stuff like that. So with going into this dance of these planets that we're in right now, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to speak about this because we just went through this full moon with an eclipse. And, we're all in the midst of these dances of emotions, and it's just amazing. And then we have Easter here, if you so choose to believe in that, on this next Sunday here. It's the last Sunday of the month, and then sorry about dates, are not in my head right this second. And then we also have Mercury going into retrograde April Fool's Day. What an amazing day. It's amazing how the universe is really playing tricks on us to stir us up. And I'm laughing at a lot of these things that the universe is doing for us, but we really have to be willing to walk with it, because it's just amazing how everything is just happening around us for us if we believe in it. I know for me, that, I was pulled to change my podcast name here. But, you know, as I was stretching and pulling all these different names and, getting one that I really liked, and then, oh, that one's taken. And I'm one that I wouldn't, I know I could add on with Natasha, but it wouldn't work. Hi, Veronica. Hello, everybody who's watching. But then at the same time, though, getting these tugs and pulls and no, this doesn't work. No, that doesn't work. No, this isn't going to work. This feels right, but it doesn't quite work. Da 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 da. Well, come to find out that the universe really wanted me to shake up a lot of the things I was questioning, a lot of the things that I was not understanding. That it was actually to change up uh, my um, my website name. And, that's where, going into this dance that, you know, things are coming out of the blue for us, if you like that expression, coming out of nowhere to give us opportunities to think about things. So I want you to think about this. Where is the universe trying to get you to move? Where is it really wanting you to do some shaking up? Because I can tell you that all that shakeup of naming, claiming, looking into it, having conversations with one person who's helping me do my business, another person that's helping me do my business, and a good friend. Both of them are good friends, but they're helping me do my business. So I was, in that interaction with them. And then, going into this dance of, asking people who are good friends, just in general, out dancing, and things are popping into me. And as I'm dancing with some of my friends, hey, what do you think about this name? And they go, oh, I like that. And so I'd write it down, and da 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 da. But it came down to, going into this dance of thinking, well, I'm having this conversation with a friend, and she usually comes up with some intuitive gifts. She came up with intuitive clarifications because she liked angelic clarifications for my website. But she liked really the word clarifications because she says, "That's what you do, you give clarifications of life, and you're intuitive clarifications." Oh my gosh. I got that on Wednesday. Friday, I was calling up my hoster of my domain and changing things up. Well, what I forgot to do when I changed up, because I got the hit. I'm supposed to do it now. Change over my website. So I was changing from my, because I like my website, but I was changing domain names and changing that domain name. But I forgot to ask the energies to work with me. Yeah, I forgot to ask the energies to work with me. So I made the phone call, but I forgot to tap into the energies and say, we're going to do this with grace and ease. I'm asking for the best things to happen for the love and life. Well, it ended up taking about a weekend, over a week and a half for everything, Google, everything, the written thing behind the scenes, because I don't write I'm not in my podcast, or I mean, my website to do things, but, it takes time. And that's one thing that we forget, that when we make a decision, not everything works in our timing. So going into this is a time for us to really think about things. Because of the fact that we have a lot of interaction with the planets right now, and that full moon with an eclipse, it was hi sunny, with that full moon with the eclipse, it was, endings with these new opportunities, because the full moon's about letting things go, but it has the light, so it shines the light on the things we want to let go. These are just the overall sense. So if you want some more deeper conversation about your life, let's go into it in a private session. But I'm just giving you this some highlights so you can tune into it for your knowings, because your truth is your truth. But I'm giving a perspective and an understanding, maybe, that you can go, that makes me go, and I want to think about that. So going into this full moon, what are we willing to let go of, that the eclipse is saying, you might want to look at those deeper things that you are looking into. Now, I was looking into my website as angelic clarifications. I liked it. I really liked that angelic clarifications, but it's been with me since the beginning of building my business. And at that time, I was really into working with just the angels. And they gave me that name. Well, as I've evolved and as I've worked, I still work with angels. I mean, I have angels everywhere. And you can see them in the windows over here. You can see them all over the place in my area. I work with angels. The thing is, though, I'm not just that. I go past lives. I work with the different dimensions. I go into the star beings. I work with fairies. I work with a lot of different scenarios. And so, with my friend coming up with intuitive clarifications, well, that eclipse full moon was saying it's time for you to upgrade into something new. So, my story is for you to look at how is your life trying to support you in your change? Because it's not about a yes or no answer at this time. It's about what if. And that when I got the message on Wednesday about, changing up because I got the hit into it, I got the hit. Oh, this is about my website. It's about my domain name. Ooh. Well, I can tell you now that I had to ponder it. What if I change it? What would be the thing that I would need to do? I would have to change my, I'm going to change my email. I would have to change the domain. I would have to change business cards. I'd have to change pamphlets. I would have to change. Oh my gosh, I'd have to change the because I'm going to be in a fair here at the end of July of April, so I have to call them, because they just put it out there, angelic clarifications. No, I'm not angelic clarifications anymore. I'm intuitive clarifications, which actually gives me a broader sense. Intuitive clarifications. And now, because I always kept angelic clarifications back, it was just my website name. But now, even my YouTube channel is now Intuitive Clarifications. Natasha, Intuitive Clarifications, opening to new knowings, right? So, hi, Paula. I'm so grateful everybody's here who's watching. Thank you for being here. So, going into this, that what is coming up for you to have an opportunity? I was just talking with someone who was on a waiting list for something. And as she was on that waiting list, she got a phone call today. And that phone call was saying, "Hey, we got something that's ready for you." She's like, "Holy crap, what am I supposed to do? It's a this thing that I wanna do, maybe. I thought it would be another 4 years before I would have to do it. This thing is now saying, "Hey, I have something for you." But it wasn't quite it was doable. She was gonna go look at it, see if it was right, doable. But then she was willing it's a huge move. Yes, it's a huge move. Somebody was saying Kathy was saying, thank you, Kathy, that, that it's one of those things that but then when we play that what if game, what if there's another answer? What if I do this? What if? And sometimes we have to make that phone call. Sometimes we have to ask. Like me with my website. The first person I talked to told me that, and it was going to work. Well, waited 24 to 72 hours. It wasn't quite working. So I asked questions to the people who might give me answers. And then I ended up being coming down into, well, that the first person didn't do everything right, but who's going to do everything right the first time? Who's going to do everything right the first time? So coming into this, having to do that, getting more clarity. Well, waiting 24 to 72 hours there again, because light change doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes it can. Um, that it that then it ended up being another 72, and then I called somebody else, and they got it a little cleaner. And then I waited till, that was on Monday, waited till Thursday because I want to make sure. Finally got the person who can clean up all of it. Except for one more thing. I have to call again because there's one more thing that I didn't realize I needed to change, and now I need to figure out how to change it in the way that they want me to change it. So, there's one more phone call to be had. And that's the thing that this person I was talking to, that this thing that she said, "Oh, this might work." She was willing to call back and ask another question, and guess what? Because she was willing to ask another question, there's an opportunity that might be more of a fit for her. But she's going to have to go check it out. She's going to have to see about it. She's going to have to wait on it. She's going to have to look at it. She's going to have to negotiate it, just like I had to do with my website. So going into this, I'm going to ask the question again. Can you maybe take a moment and see where life is asking you to shift up? Like my kitten that people have been seeing on my podcast, on my short videos that I do, my inspirational videos. Coworker said, "Hey, I got a cat that's having kittens." I had to ask questions. Then, through the process of finding out that they were born and then finding, going and checking them out, I kept asking questions. Female or male? Female or male? What if I had the female? What if I had the male? Either one would have worked. But I can tell you, checking in with my friends, checking in with the cat, checking with the female cat, the male cat, and checking with everybody, guess what? The right one came to me. The right one came to me. And Sunny, you were saying, all in the area of my life. Yeah. So going into this, and I was talking about moving, that, it is time. We're coming into Mercury in retrograde. So it's really not the best time to make major decisions. But I'm going to say, though, that many of us who are born in retrogrades, me, I've redone a website in the middle of Mercury in retrograde because it was the right time for me to work with my energy. So do not question things. But the one thing that I want you to know, though, is when Mercury goes into retrograde, please make sure you read things, reread things, ask the questions. What if? What if I do this? What if I do that? Check in, slowly check into your life. Negotiate what's inside of it. It's a great time to manifest. Yes, but act like you have it. Embody it. Know it, feel it, see it. So I can tell you that's going to make a change right now. So going into this, really deciding now, like I'm going to go back to this person I was talking about, she got a phone call about this one situation that felt kind of right. But having that understanding um, can really ask the questions to yourself. What do I truly want? What do I truly want? And when we get into that, what I truly want, then the universe can say, and then we have to be willing to ask the questions, like making the phone call and then finding out there's actually something that actually might work better. So please, do not be afraid to move forward. Please don't be afraid to move forward because you never know what that forward mentality or knowingness can be. Because I can tell you, after I changed my name to Intuitive Clarifications, and it's involving everywhere that I'm doing. It's touching so much in my life. Instead of angelic clarifications that was set off to the side, intuitive clarifications is actually right here with me. I'm saying it, I'm understanding it, I'm negotiating with it because I am intuitive clarifications. So you never know where that change can really set in. And here's the funny part that I just love about the universe. You never know how it's going to say, ha ha, we see you. Because when I changed from Natasha Venter AC on my social media which was angelic clarifications, to Natasha Venter IC for intuitive clarifications, Natasha Venter IC. What do I see? What do I see? I see a whole bunch of stuff, right? It's one of those things that I see life. People wonder, how do I see what I see? How do I put things together? How do I be? And Kathy, I appreciate you so much, because I know that when we were talking a little bit earlier that I was a lower vibration, I was still processing through what was going on today because I can tell you that today, I don't know if anybody's feeling the energies today, but it's a wonky day today. I was at my elementary school and I had this one first grader who came to me and said, so and so wants me to play with him and I want to play with him, but he doesn't want me to follow him around. Doesn't want me to follow him around. So then I went and talked to that wonderful young man and he was crying and I go, "Do you want to play with?" "Yeah, I want to play with her, but she keeps following me around." Oh, okay. Well, why don't we give you a moment here to get through what you're processing through, what your emotions are. It's okay that you're emotional, but let's get you. And then I looked at the little girl and I said, do you kind of hear that this little one does, or this boy doesn't? I said his name, but I'm not going to say his name here. That I said, well, you can see that he's kind of in a moment, right? We don't, and we got to honor that moment. So, do you think he'll want to play with you right now? Probably not. It's because he wants to, but he doesn't want to. But he wants to, but he doesn't want to. But he wants to, but he doesn't want to. She got a smile on her face. I said, "So you want to go play somewhere else?" "Yeah, okay, go have fun." So going into this, and then the sixth graders, there's two fights on the playground. There's emotions going everywhere. There's emotions going everywhere. And Kathy, you were saying Mercury does go RX in April 1st. Now it's the pre-shadow. So we're getting into the really depths, that inner depths of the Mercury kind of get. It's like that. It's kind of like that anybody who shifts cars, it's almost like that revving up before the car needs to shift into the next gear. And so definitely, and Veronica says, definitely feeling the energies. Yes, the energies are really impactful right now because we're on the bookends between the full moon with the eclipse to the new moon with a solar eclipse. And so that solar eclipse is going to be pretty impactful and really going to make us plus, oh my gosh, plus, oh, I'm just so grateful for this moment because it's amazing what we can relieve ourselves and negotiate with ourselves. Plus we're going to be, we're in Aries energy, the fire sign. So this eclipse is going to be in fire with the sun, eclipsing the sun, which is fire. So getting this passion in you. And like I was saying to this person who's going to be making this maybe this big move, that either way, it's shaking up her life to be able to move into something. She's probably going to look around her house now and say, want to work on that now. Oop, I might want to work on that tomorrow. Oop, I might want to work on that next week. Guess what, though? Her story, guess what it's telling me? I have a kitten who is now 6 months old. He's telling me I need to look at things. Do I need the things in my house that I have? Yes, I have some things that are very precious to me, but do I need as much as I have? And then she gets the tap that she might be on the move. Ooh, I want to listen to that because I've been getting the tap myself that things need to move. Something needs to move. I don't need everything that I have where it's at. Shift things out. So listen to the outer stories that are going on in your life can help you with the inner story of where you're at. So Sunny, thank you for very much. I've been feeling like someone else's life. Now I want to find more me. And I felt rejected by people around me where I live. I want to know why if anything is everything mirroring? Yeah, so I want to say that if you are being rejected by the people around you, there's two sides to this coin. And if I can give this to you now, remember your truth is your truth. That a lot of times life is mirroring. I'm going to give the one that is outside of you. So if you are shifting up your life, if you are starting to create better boundaries for yourself, if you're starting to find a part of you that doesn't fit in with everybody else, they're going to fall away. They're going to start falling away. You're not going to have the same friends. I switched up my friends within just a year or two because of who I was changing into. And then you have the inner story. So yes, the people outside of you is mirroring the inside of you. So what part of you are you rejecting? What part of you that you're not listening to your truth? What a part of you that is not feeling home with the new understandings that you're coming into? What part of you are you struggling with the conflict between this or that? What part of you are you struggling with? Like I had a conversation with someone about that they the way that they grew up in their story of religion and dogma and black and white and you can't do this and you're a sinner and all that kind of stuff. And he is finding this other part of him. You're more than welcome, Sunny. This part of you, or this part of him, and yet he doesn't know how to feel like this conflict. And like I said, that it's not about that you have to leave that part of you behind. Like for me, I grew up in a Catholic church. I understood the basis of what Mother Mary was according to the Catholic religion. I know now, talking to her direct, that most of those stories aren't true. But does that mean that I leave what I've learned behind? No, I was able to have something to bounce off of to find my own story, my own knowings, my own truth with this very wonderful energy of Mother Mary. And then for Jesus is the same thing, because I know that I found out through the religion, the dogma of religion, that was the message, who Jesus was. But at the same time, though, now I know who Jesus truly is because I walk with him. I work with him just like I do Mother Mary. And I embody him in a way that I just care so deeply for him. That isn't all the story that religion says. But I'm using that as a balance so that I know, oh no, it's that naysayer part. We have these naysaying parts of us that are actually probably speaking up quite a bit that says, but you can't do that. You're not going to do that. Why should you believe in that? Because I want to believe in it, because I'm going to believe in it. So use that naysaying part of you but that's not what I was told or taught. But what we're told and taught isn't always our truth, but treat it as a naysayer and let it find your truth with you. Let it find your truth with you. Because of the fact that we are not meant to always stay the same. There's truths that are going to be coming into us that we have to discern out or in how much of that truth we want. There's so much out in the politics right now. There's so much out in the world right now of coming to us. But what are we going to bring into us for us? So look into the story of you. Look into this understanding of you right now. We're in this miraculous time. But remembering that when Mercury goes into retrograde, especially now that we're kind of getting a little bit closer, it's kind of like a car that's getting ready to shift into its next gear, that in that revving up, that irritated part of that before we go, that when we go into when we're in this moment, reread your conversations, re-look at what you're saying to yourself and others. Look at what your planning is. Are you rethinking something? Because I can tell you that we can have goals, we can have visions. I have visions of things, visions of something, but maybe the universe wants us to go just a little bit off center from where we were thinking. But if we don't rethink it, ask the what ifs, ask the whys, ask the questions, make the phone call, have the conversation, bounce off ideas with someone who you know is inspiring for you. If you are talking to someone who is not necessarily inspiring to you, hi Linda, welcome on Instagram, everybody, that if you're not finding the person that can be inspiring to you, then I would not necessarily have a bunch of conversations unless you want to have a naysaying moment. And that naysayer moment, that person who doesn't believe in you, can actually be a gift for you if you look into it and see that they actually are helping you make decisions. Yes, I really want to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it. Because I can tell you, every time I've had a naysaying moment in my life, it's brought me back to center me. It's brought me back to center me. And I hope it can do the same thing to you. Because we're all in the midst of this big shift up. We're having to discern out because there's a lot of truths that don't fit anymore. But the old way works, the canning, the understandings. I've been using castor oil, and I know that castor oil has been around for centuries. But it's coming into my life to help me. And I can tell you, I'm eating something that's not really working, and I'm putting a little bit of castor oil on my back. Oh my gosh, it takes the sting out. It takes that. Yeah, I still have a bumpy back, but my skin's not crawling. So check in with some of these truths that are coming to you for your greater good. But remembering that it's not necessarily about putting your foot on the gas pedal and going full board. Because I can tell you, if you start using castor oil for the first time and you slather it all over your body, You're going to go into the flu. You're going to go into a major detox. You're going to go into a major something. Start small. And that's the thing about asking what if. Because if we ask the what if, it's starting small. It's doing it's doing that inspirational, let me think about that. It's kind of like buying a car. You may go on to the lot and say, I want that car. But what happens if you drive it? Because it's the car you've been looking at, it's the car you've been liking, it's the car that you've been seeing in the magazines, and you've been really liking it when you're driving down the road and seeing other people in it. But you sit in it and it's not yours. But guess what? Sitting in that car, and the person who's selling cars might say, you know what though? If you like this car, let's go check this car over here. And you might find that because you got onto that lot because of that car, you might actually find the car that you were looking for. And you sit down in that car and you go, this is it. This is it. So what I would like for you to look at, and I've said this a couple times in this show, if you can, look into your life. Look at your life. Don't be afraid to look at your life. And what is the world trying to show you by people in your life, conversations, movies you're watching? It could be these moments where, like, my husband and I have been watching Chris Hemsworth on Disney or one of those shows about, and he's going through and doing some self perspectives on how to help his body be longevity in better health. Well, I can tell you that watching him and his wife, watching the way that he is vulnerable, watching the way that he's negotiating is a teller for me to look into my life. My husband's saying the same thing. So when we have these outer things outside of our life helping us look inside, it's not saying that we're wrong or we're bad or what we're doing is wrong. No, it's not. The universe never says, you're such a bad person. Like I was telling a kid today, you're a good kid who's making poor decisions. And then when he'd made a better choice, I said, oh, look, you're a good kid. And what good choices did you make? And look at what you got. You got rewarded for it, didn't you? So remembering that it's not about bad or good or what you're doing. We always have a chance in our life to push the reset button, and it can be done at any time. And I'm going to tell you right now, with the way the planets are done, that it is a time for us to push that reset button and see where life wants us. Where does life want us? So, Paula, thank you for being here. I totally resonate with your journey through um, capitalism and your story. Yeah, because it's not, I mean, that's the thing is like we always need some grounding. Like, oh. I was doing one of my posts, and this video came up, and this one gentleman asked the question, if you were deaf, what language would you think in? I'm hearing a pause. If you were deaf, what language would you think in? Every time we get a language, every time we grow up and we have a chance to learn something, it gives us a language to think off of. And I'm going to tell you that that language that we're thinking of isn't always what is the healthiest thing for our lives in our future. So, Paula, do you think that Easter energies change connections with Jesus or Mary? You know what? It's a great time to think about it. It's a great time to have the energies with it. Because I can tell you that Jesus' birthday isn't at Christmas time. And I can tell you he was not necessarily crucified on Easter. I'm telling you that everything happen at different timings, but the energy, if you step out of the mainstream of the socialism or the, buying things, the Easter egg hunt, and you spend a moment with Jesus, he would be just as powerful on Easter as he would in the middle of a summer day or the middle of a winter day when you're needing somebody. And you said probably whatever taught to read in. Probably whatever are taught to read in. I'm sorry, I don't understand. So going into this, that what can we be and who are we? We haven't found out yet. We haven't found out yet. Because like my mother of heart, Pat, who came into my life after my mother passed, that she said, Natasha, I've been laying here on my bed because she wasn't able to get out of bed for the last month. That she said, Natasha, I've learned more about my life laying in bed here than I did my whole life. Because she was asking questions, she was checking in with energy, she was talking with her spirit family, she was talking with her soul family, she was talking with her soul. And she was finding answers. So I'm going to reread that. Probably whatever taught to read in thinking language. Yes. So going into that, whenever you work with, whatever energies you work in, whatever you believe in, hallelujah, be with it. Align with it. If Easter is a magical time for you, believe it. That's your story with your knowings, with your belief system. And it's time for you to work with it. I have a different understanding, so I'll work with it my way I do. That's the thing about finding your truth. And everything that I've said in the show, opening to new knowings with Natasha, is the theme of this show. Because we're working into these energies that are asking us to ask the questions. Asking us to ask the questions. Who are we? What do we want to do? Where do we want to be? Who am I negotiating to be? And what am I calling in? What am I calling in? So start asking those questions, the what's, who I'm, or the who's. The what and the who's. What am I supposed to do next? Where am I supposed to go next? What am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be? And I can tell you, when you start asking those questions, the universe starts bringing answers into you. By music. When was the last time you heard a song? There was one time I was on a counseling trip when my husband was drinking. I went into counseling for a little bit. I walked out, got in the car, Journey song. And it was the one, I know it. It's just not in my head. The words aren't in my head, but it was the one about that you'll find love and you'll never be alone. I said, Dad, tears were in my eyes. You knew what I needed. So songs come in our life to let us know that we're going to be okay. And to give us a vision and give us a knowing. There's been so many times where songs have been the key. Just like for me, every time I need a realignment, I go to Shinedown's How Did You Love? Because it comes back to love. Love for yourself, love for others. Just like when I was talking to that boy and he was crying because he wanted to play, but he didn't want her to follow him. I didn't talk to him like he was, I talked to him with love and understanding that emotions sometimes are that way. We just don't know what to do. We're here, we're there, we're da, right? But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ask some questions. Find out the truer selves of you. And remember, our bodies are going to be along for this ride. So if their body is along for this ride, check in to see why things are hurting. I know that many of us have had a life. Many of us have had a life. And as we get a little bit older, our bodies start saying, yeah, kind of did that, didn't you? And you kind of did this. So going into this, remembering that our bodies are aligning in a different way. And you know what? I think that one of the things that was getting my back to be breaking out, I got fish at a place, and it came from not a healthy country, and I'm wondering if it had something in it that was irritating me because it wasn't our Washington fish. I don't know until I eat it again or whatever else I eat. So going into this, so Paula says, I sing the body electric song. Helps me align me. I love that. I love that. So coming into this, you know, it is who we are. It is who we are. There are songs that can align us. I know I dance to align my soul to myself a lot. I dance a lot. Want to dance more. My body actually wants to dance more. So going into this, remembering your body's going to talk. So check in with the food. Check in what's irritating you. When was the last time you loved something that hurt in your body instead of condemning it? A lot of us are dealing with emotions. And a lot of times it's hard to eat when we're emotional. So be careful that you didn't eat in emotions and then your tummy was upset because it didn't want to digest those emotions. We are in the midst of a big energetic change right now. And it's going to bring blessings for our future walk if we're willing to look at it. So instead of going down that metaphorical rabbit hole, look down in the rabbit hole and say, yep, I have that situation down there. Do I really want to go down and swim in it? Maybe to find out what's down there, but I'm not going to stay in that rabbit hole. But you can move around that rabbit hole and get ideas. I hope that made sense. Because many of us go down in the rabbit hole, we think about things, we sit in it, we ponder in it, and it takes us weeks to get out of it, that emotion. Oh, life is moving too quick. So if you have an emotion, look at it, ask it, why are you here? Fear, shifting, changing. Makes you go, Ask the questions. Well, why am I bothered by that thought? Why am I triggered by that thought? Trust the process of this, that you may not be able to hear the answer yourself if you're not intuitive enough. And I didn't mean that in a bad way. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said that. We're all intuitive. We can hear things. And I apologize for that. But many of us aren't taught to listen to who we are. And as a car alarm is going off outside around my neighborhood here, what alarm bells are coming off for you to help you listen? Like me, my back breaking out. It's time for me to pull back my food and see what it is that my liver is struggling with and my kidneys are struggling with. Oop, I forgot to bring my water to drink. So going into our story, it's time to believe in us. It's time to believe in us. Well, I was going to have a shorter show today. I guess it wasn't meant to be. See? Going with the flow, going with the energies. So, does anybody want an oracle card? I'm not really feeling the energy of channeling right now, so I know that there's somebody out there that wants me to, but at the same time, it's been a very busy day and I'm See, my back is itchy. Um, you know, my back itched when I said channeling. Am I aligning with the energies that I'm meant to be or called to be? Makes me go, I'm going to check in on that one. But see how I did that? My back itched when I talk about channeling. So I'm going to look at both sides. Am I supposed to channel more or am I supposed to channel less? Because that's usually where the energies come in, or my back. My back is where they come in. They don't come down over me. They come in through me. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards. So I have Veronica, Kathy, Paula. So there's the three of you. Is there anybody else who would like an oracle card on Instagram? Today, I think I'm going to do the Wisdom of Oracle. So I'm not going to be pulling from a lot of decks, but I'm going to do that. So Veronica first, since you mentioned it first. Thank you. Clear the energies of these cards. I'm asking for the greatest, highest good of this message for you, Veronica. I'm asking for the angels and everybody else who's your guides to come in to give you the answer for your wanderings that you have. Sunny, I will give one to you too. Okay, this is for Veronica. Clear up the energies here. There we go. Woo-hoo. Okay, so the wind fairy. Thoughts, words, intellectual analysis is the wind fairy. So tapping into the energy of this card for you, it's a 29, which is 11, which is the magical number. So the wind's energy is open for you. The wind energy is about clearing out or traveling with. So flying a kite. What kite can you put out there to bring in the messages is the image I got. Also, I got that you can be on a hot air balloon and travel with the energies of the wind. Also, too, sometimes, when you stand on a windy day and you stand there and let the wind take what it can and wish it off of you. So remember that the wind has a lot of understandings for you, Veronica, and it's time for you to negotiate the story of who you are with the elementals: fire, wind, water, metal, wood, earth. So remembering your thoughts, let your thoughts move through quickly. Don't stick with a thought necessarily unless you need to, and then write it down. Let things move through you. If you have an emotion, let it move through you. After I got off school today, I shook like a dog to get it off. I let the wind, through that shaking, shake it off. Because it's time for us to move forward. So let the wind take you. Now, if it's a tornado wind, remember tornadoes? Get inside the tornado and watch everything that needs to come off of you come off of you. And I'm giving short answers so that if anybody is hearing this message for this, remember that if this card aligns with you too, it's meant to be with you. Because everybody's message can be somebody else's message. But I'm asking you, Veronica, to look at how are you sitting in your stuff, or are you moving with the wind? Because you can be a hot air balloon that travels just off the ground, but you might get a little bumped into things. Boom, 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 boom. So you might want to travel up a little bit and get out of the muck of life and get into the flow. I hope that helps you, Veronica. If you want some more, so the wind fairy. What does the wind fairy want to tell you? She wants you to know the gusty winds are now done. She wants you to know that you're traveling forward. Don't worry about the future. It's not here yet, she says. The wind doesn't even know what the future is. But she's saying that as you're moving forward, remember to get onto the current of the situation. So if it's moving slower with your parents, because I know your story a little bit here, slow the current, the pace of the wind down. If you're in with somebody else that's a little bit faster, pick up the speed a little bit. Let the wind carry you. Kind of like the way that you're in airports and there's that treadmill that kind of walks you or carries you a little bit. Let the wind carry you instead of you carrying yourself. Wind Fairy wants you to know that you're so loved and she's so grateful that you're doing and being who you are. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Veronica. That it does help me. Thank you. Woo! Okay, so I was gonna say this one is for Kathy. I didn't even get a chance to change the deck, clear the deck. Boy, Kathy, your team and my team. Wealth. 34, so 7. Wealth is your card. So Veronica, this could be a little bit of your card, and it could be because I didn't clear the deck yet. So, but I was thinking of you, Kathy. The next one, I was thinking of Kathy. So let me clear the deck, and I'll pull another card for you just to make sure it's clear. This is for Kathy and her understandings. This is for Kathy. Hello, Mark on Instagram. 7 is mine. Yep. Okay, but I'm going to pull another one, Kathy. The card's not pulling out. So was that the card that you had? I think that was your card, Kathy, because no cards are wanting to stir up for you. Okay, cancel, clear, delete that. Is there a card for Kathy? Yes, there is. I'm hearing. Okay. Let me get the energies aligned here. Is there one more card for Kathy? Well, you just didn't get one card, my dear. You got the Dragon, Power and Strength. You got the Movement card. You got the King, Authority, male sexual energy, things pertaining to law and justice. You got the Water Fairy, so watch the emotions, feelings and emotions, and the Princess card, discernment, persistence, prophecy, and vision too. So I'm going to go back over it. You got the Dragon, the Fire, time to get on the wings of the dragon to help you. You also got movement, so that's represents what you're going through. Yes, you're going through movement, which is a 9. 336, which is a 9. And then you got the King, standing firm in what you want, understanding who you are. The Water Fairy, be careful. Watch the rabbit hole you're going into. And discernment, the High Priestess. You got magic, my dear. You have the magic. You have the magic of all the elements. The Crow. I mean, you're stirring your own potion right now. You're stirring your own potion right now. So, jumping. Gotcha, lady. You're more than welcome, Kathy. Okay, so who was next? That was Paula. LOL, the upstairs of the building has been closed for water. Yes. Okay, this is for Paula. And then Sunny, you're next. If anybody on Instagram wants one, I have a few more minutes. Okay, so this is for Paula. Okay, Paula, let's align the energies for you, clearing out the energies that came before you. Remembering if I do pull a card and there's a card that says, I can use that message. Remembering that all these cards are for everyone, but I'm pulling specifically for one person. So a message could be for anyone, even if it's just a sentence. Okay, here we go. Nope. That was not it. Okay, Paula, here's yours. Whoa! Okay, Paula, you got the Lady of the Lake that came out first, the 8. So the infinity sign, as above, as below, be willing to look into the depths of your below to get to your above. Lady of the Lake is also absolute truth, courage, self-reflection, responsibility. What is she doing though? She's coming out of the lake of the emotions. She has the sword of power, of truth. She's dry. She's coming up out of things and she's dry. She's coming up out of things so she can be and seen. And what I'm hearing is, Paula, you need the mantra for you is I'm anonymous no more, but I'm honored for who I am. That might be a good mantra for you right now. So going into this, let the winds of the change happen to you as you're walking through the lake of vision for yourself. And then you have the Fire Fairy, creation, creative action, optimism, and it's a 3 card. So the Fire Fairy would like you to know your passion has been good. Your passion has been right. Your passion has been in the movement of who you are. It is time to align yourself to the passions that you deserve and are worthy of. You're done with scarcity. You're done with the unworthiness. So hold into your empowerment, my dear, she says. Hold into that knowing. You're in great power. You're in great knowing. It's time for you to own it, claim it, and be it. Find that passion from your gut, not your mind, not your heart, but that passion of the gut to get you up, moving. It is time for you to ponder where your next step is so that you can negotiate into your new knowings. You're on the path. Things are coming to you, she says. Look at them, see them, discern through them. She's saying you got the power. You got the fire. You got the passion in you. Use it as your fuel because you do have the power. Okay, I hope that helps, Paula. Boy, this is great cards for life right now. But remembering that the Fire Fairy, she's not necessarily up and boasting, I'm here. What is she doing? She's pondering, she's thinking, and she's pretty vulnerable. So it's going to take a little bit of vulnerability to get through that moment that you're in too. Oh, my salamanders miss me. I hear you. I hear you. But you're in the fire now, right? You're in that. It's time for you to align with the energies that are shifting around you. But bring home the water too. It's okay to bathe in it. It's okay to be in it. But remembering when you mix water and fire, it makes good steam. And I can tell you, me being a double Cancerian, double water sign with Aries rising, I know how to make good steam. I also live with a double Leo with a double Cancerian, me. So we make wonderful steam. Don't try to put things out. Try to build it up. Okay, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome, Paula. Okay, let's see. Sunny, it's your turn, my dear. It's your turn. Okay, Sunny. Clear the cards. Clear the cards. There we go. Okay, this is for Sunny's message. What does Sunny's message want to be? Wish I could shuffle like people to go, but my hands aren't big enough, especially with these decks. So this is the way I've learned how to do it. Kind of gets the same thing. So I'm going to tell you as I'm shuffling here, aligning the energies of the now for Sunny. What is it, the message that you want to give for her? for this person. What do we want to give Sunny's message? Woo! Cow. What an amazing message for you. The cow. The card says nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. The 2 card, coming back home. It's about getting that back. But what does a cow do? A cow nourishes. A cow is in alignment with the ground. A cow eats the grass, and then it waits and it chews on what it's saying. So, Sunny, this might not be the best time for you to make huge leaps unless it is the right time and you've processed and digested what you're going through. Now, it doesn't mean overthink it, but it's letting the universe tell you that, yes, this is the steps. And I'm going to go back to the message that I had about finding my website name, that I was asking questions about my podcast. I was asking questions about the name of my podcast. So it made me stretch and pull. I was processing in the stomach of life what was going to be. And then when I was ready and it come back up, got chewed around again. Oh, it was for my I was changing the name of my domain, which equaled changing my podcast name. So chewing up what it is. So be patient with life. It is a process to go from eating to nourishing to coming back and thinking about it as a cow re-chews, and then go back into it. But remembering, and I just got this hit for you, my dear, that it's about coming back to the basics. A lot of cows now are on farms that they don't even go out and eat grass. So it's time for you to go out and eat the grass. Find the organic way of life for you. The organic doesn't mean organic food. It means organic for you. Get the cleaner, get the more homelier feeling for you. And so going into this understanding, but remembering that as a cow feeds many people, it doesn't mean that your energy has to feed everyone. You can save something for yourself. And remembering that cows are smart. Cows are smart. They're not necessarily buffalo. Now, buffalo wants to talk to you right now. Buffalo Sunny wants to talk to you because buffalo are willing, when they see a storm, that they are willing to walk into the storm. So as a storm is coming to a cow or to a buffalo, that they walk into the storm. So as the storm passes, they're refreshed. And when we get into that understanding, the cow, they'll go the same way as a storm. So remembering that storms are something that sometimes you have to go through the storm to find your path. Don't be afraid to go through the storm. But what do cows do? They lay down, they munch, they eat, they're not in a hurry. Unless they hear that bell for food. Then they get in a hurry. Or they're on grass for the first time and then they're having fun. So get the joys of life. Find the nourishment of life. And it's time, most of all, to believe in yourself. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outer world. It is time for you to believe in your journey, your calling, your knowing. The people that are meant to be with you will be there if you believe that you are meant to be it. So Kathy says, Sunny, for you, buffalo is a very sacred in Native American tradition. They are, because they got tough skin. They got tough understandings. Oh my gosh. A buffalo, and they're willing to find their way. They stand in their power when they walk. Boom, 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 right? A cow, what does a bull do? Okay? Don't bully people around, but come back. Be willing to go through the storm. There's a fine line between being pushed and being pushy, or following and being guided and allowing. So find that neutrality if you can, of pushing when you need to. Put your foot on that gas pedal if you're in the car going. But then at the same time, when you're at a stop sign, remember you have to stop and look around. So remember, life is going to be about off and on for you. The food goes into one stomach, comes back out, goes to another stomach. Be patient, my dear. Things will come to you. Your vision will come to you. That's what I'm hearing. It will come to you, but you have to believe it, embody it. You have to believe it and embody it. So I hope that helps. And everyone, thank you for being here. Intuitiveclarifications.com is my new website domain. The new podcast here is Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. Opening to new knowings is the intention. So Sunny says, yes, I received the message about the buffalo last night too. Thank you. Confirmations then. The universe will confirm if you're on the right path. So it's time to believe. That's a double confirmation about standing in your empowerment and be willing to walk into the storm. Because a storm doesn't have to be as bad as we perceive it to be. It doesn't. It's all about perception and listening to the whispers. There's shelter over here. There's shelter over there. There's shelter from the wind over here. Guess what? You have an umbrella for the rain. So listen to the universe, Sunny. It will guide you. And I'm going to mention this to everyone. If you hear a message today that was kind of on the top informationally and didn't get into the depth for you, that's where you can make a private session, and I would be grateful to help you. That's at intuitiveclarifications.com. I am so blessed to be here. If you would like to have inspirational short videos, you can find me on Natasha Venter IC. I still makes me laugh, but that's the vibration that brings us life. Is that vibration of height? And Kathy, now I'm more at the level that you're at. The higher vibration doing this show. So thank you everyone for being here. I would love to assist you in your life's journey. Blessings. So I will be here next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. I'm changing up my shows, so sometimes I'll pop on to being on air some other time. I'm going to try to post it, but like the other day, I just got the call real quick, which I know better to do better this time, to be on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to tell you that my YouTube channel is going to have a little bit more interaction than the rest of my posts. So if you'd like to visit my YouTube channel, that's going to be shifting up to more playlists so that you can find videos easier. That's going to happen in this next week. And also that I'm going to be doing some more lives just on YouTube. I hope that my vision of my life will assist you in yours. But please remember, if you're looking for something more private, that I do private sessions at intuitiveclarifications.com. Also, if you want to do a group mediumship or a group class on how to get through life, I would love to assist that too. I can do it over Zoom, or I can do it in person if you're in the Washington State area. I can even travel, though. I love to travel. Blessing bees to you. Sunny, thank you very much. I'm so grateful that it was an amazing reading for you. It's time for me to be my intuitive clarifications. Blessing be to you. Bye now.